What's going on, family? Welcome back to the Royal Minds podcast. And today, I have an extraordinary guest with me today. Somebody who is an amazing individual and who really cares about the community. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Tioko, and I am an entrepreneur. I own a couple businesses and also a nonprofit.
Oh, okay. So, we're going to go ahead and just kick it right off.
Let's go.
So, you said you own a couple businesses.
Yes.
What businesses do you own?
Well, let's see. I started a trucking company at as soon as the pandemic started. That was a great opportunity to get into the transportation industry because, as we know, everything around us gets to us via transportation.
Yeah.
So if you look around, the shoes you have on, the shirt on your back, everything, it came to us via truck. So transportation industry was definitely a great field for me to tap into. When it comes to the retail side of it, I also have a retail brand called Misfit Runway.
Okay.
And it's a pretty dope brand. Now we're in the age of individuality and customization. So everyone wants custom attire. So that's what I do. So when you come to me and you would like, a shirt, hat, different things like that is one of a kind. So I specialize in glasses, bucket hats, and denim jackets. So it's kind of like the old school feel when it comes to the patches and different things like that.
The 90s type of vibe.
Absolutely.
Got you.
I'm a very nostalgic person, so it's just a certain feel, a certain vibe, I also do a lot of business consulting, which is the brand I'll be talking about today, which is the Build Black Movement. So when it comes to that, it's working with local Black-owned businesses, assisting them with everything from trademarking, web design, everything, marketing, branding, things like that. And then last but not least, my nonprofit, and that's for the young people. So My High, that is my nonprofit, and that is my baby. When it comes to youth, that is very important because that's where it starts. You know what I mean? Everything starts when you're younger in the home, but a lot of kids aren't getting what they need in the home because the parents don't know about it. Mm-hmm. Like how many of us can say, when I was young, I learned about financial literacy, credit comprehension. We'll all say, this is what I want to be when I grow up, but let's start working on it now. I don't care if you're in preschool or you're in 6th grade. Let's get you started. Let's start molding your brain to think about those things. That way, by the time you get to, high school, you're running your own business, that type of thing. So it's called My High. So we teach them everything, also including personal development and things like that, because I'm big on mental health and things like that. So those are a couple of my businesses. I believe in multiple streams of income. So it's you always want to be doing something, you know what I'm saying, to elevate the community and the culture. So.
Oh, no, I just got to go ahead and say you fired.
I appreciate it. Sorry if I'm nervous.
Oh, no, you all
but,
right.
yeah.
I was going to say, you going crazy out here.
You have to. We don't have a choice. You know what I mean? There's no roadmap for success. You just got to get in there, figure it out, and do it,
Yeah, because one thing, the way that you put it, I was just like, man, I ain't never heard nobody say it like that. Credit comprehension.
Absolutely.
I'm I didn't heard people say like you said, financial literacy, different terms like that, but credit comprehension, I never heard that.
It's important. So it's definitely important.
Go ahead and educate us for the day.
Well, credit comprehension, that's everything. Everything credit, as far as budgeting and things like that. To me, that's more on the financial side. But as far as credit comprehension, it's let's set up our youth for greatness. Again, while we're young, I'm very much into molding the youth. So let's start while they're young. So for instance, my brother, what happened was when he was around 13 years old, it was such a blessing that my mom trusted me with his social security number because I had an idea. We're 9 years apart, so I was of age. I said, why don't you give me Keith's social security number? My credit is A1. I'll add him as an authorized user on my credit card. Some credit cards will allow you to do it between 13 and 15 years old. So if you know someone with good credit, add the kids to your credit card as an authorized user. Now, my brother Keith, he's young, he's really responsible and things like that, but obviously you don't want to give a kid a credit card. So, sorry.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, so you obviously don't want to give the kids a credit card, so I kept his card because they'll send you one. So I kept his credit card, but I was still continuing to use the card and then pay it off early, use the card and pay it off early. So I would do this for years. He didn't even know it until I told him when he was when he was older. So he called me one day and he says, "Hey, Tioko, were you using that card that you put my name on?" I said, "Well, I was using it and paying it off, just on small things." And he said, "Oh, because my credit is 800 and such and such." And I said, "What?" I said, "Your credit is better than mine." And he was like, "Thank you, I appreciate it. Like, we don't understand how valuable that is." Like, you hear so many kids growing up saying, "My parents messed up my credit. They put the water bill in my name and they did this," and things like that. It's like, why not do the opposite? Like, let's build these kids up. Let's get them ready to start businesses while they're young. Why not, Let's sow into the community. Like, that's our job. We have to stop waiting for people to come and save us and save ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's important to me.
Oh, no. See, I'm
long-winded, so if you need to bring me back, just let me know.
Oh, no, listen, you got the floor. Because like I said earlier, you fire, you got everything that you have going on. Like, I 100%, like, I support it.
I appreciate it.
I love it. Because
Thank you.
in the same breath, that's the whole reason why I started the podcast, was to bring individuals on, like yourself, to be able to have a platform to tell people about what you do, and then also to basically educate people to a degree. So a lot of people will ask me different things like how you just broke down credit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not the specialist. I got a decent credit score and everything. I'm like, but I'm not the specialist.
Absolutely.
I just know I picked up a couple things here and there from reading books.
Absolutely.
So the best thing I could do for you is recommend you a book.
Absolutely.
But now it's like sitting here with you, it's like, nah, it's a person
you have
that
a
got
whole world.
Yeah, it's like you got all the knowledge. I'm like, nah, listen, go run that episode back. Go get her information and try to set up a consultation.
Absolutely. Because that's one thing I'm big on. And I'm so happy that you brought that up, is Keith and I were having this conversation the other day. And I used to get so stressed out about things. Like when it came to the nonprofit, like what it is I have different courses. So each time they meet with me, we're going over a different course until they complete the program. So we were having a conversation. I'm like, it's just like the world is changing so much and so fast. There's so much information out here, and it can be very daunting and disheartening. But like you just said, you don't have to do everything on your own. Like one of my words right now, definitely for the year, is delegating. I'm big on that. It's like, okay, why do I need to put all of this on myself? Okay, you specialize in that. Delegating, okay, I need you to handle this for me. Okay, that's your area of expertise. You handle that. Like, it makes things so much easier.
See, me and one of my, I'll say business partners, I work in their company, but what it is I do like pretty much look over like some of the social media and things like that. And I wouldn't even really say I look over the social media. I just come up with different, it's almost like strategies.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I be on there just looking all the time. And then me and Keith go back and forth talking about different things.
Yeah.
And then even the owner of the business, me and her go back and forth with it. Well, I was saying that to say, like, literally me and her was sitting down the other day and was talking about that. I'm like, it's been a lot of times where people be like, let me see how to say it. They'll be like, man, it seems like you don't like doing this or that, or you don't like doing manual labor. I'm like, it's not I don't like doing manual labor. It's just you're better at it than me.
Right, absolutely.
I'm like, so why would I try to steal the skills that you already have?
It takes a boss to be able to identify that, acknowledge it, and it's okay to say, you're better than me in that, you handle that. Like, that's a boss mentality. So you should be very proud of that.
Thank you. Because, yeah, I'm like, it's just certain things. It's like, it's not like it's beneath me or anything, but it's like, I know I'm not good at that.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
It's going to take me 2 to 3 hours to do this.
Absolutely.
Where I just watched you do it in 5 minutes. Like, you have that, and just tell me what your price is.
And that's very interesting, too, because if you look at, like, a lot of our background and how we were raised, like, for me, I was raised by a young mother, so a strong Black woman. And so growing up, like, she had to be extremely resourceful. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you have to be great at this. You had a daughter at 17, so your daughter, you know, my mother's mindset was always, you know, she had to always be the best. She had to be intelligent. She couldn't be dirty. Her clothes had to be a certain way. She had to go to a certain type of school. You have all of these expectations. So one thing that I learned from my mother growing up was like some things that I had to unlearn. So the thing is, as we get older, it's just like, okay, I learned some great things, but it was great for that time, and now I have to unlearn those things and like kind of rearrange or rewire my thoughts, because when I was younger, it was don't trust anybody. It was, you can do this, you don't need anyone. Like, you can handle it. Like, you're amazing, you know, you're strong, you're powerful, you can do everything. So you take pieces of that. Yes, I am powerful. Yes, I am strong. I can do anything and everything, but just because I can does not mean that I need to. So I tell my mother all the time, I'm like, Mom, just because you can do everything does not mean that you have to, because, you know, you're going to be tired, you know, you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to be stressed out. Just relax, do what you can, and delegate everything to everyone else. Like, we're going to be amazing. We're bosses, but it's like, as a boss, you have to know when to relax and let somebody else take the reins. You know what I'm saying? So,
as they say, let Jesus
learning
take
to
the
unlearn.
wheel.
I'm sorry?
No, I'm saying like they say, let Jesus take the wheel.
Absolutely.
So the question I was going to ask you was, you have such a calming presence about yourself.
I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem at all. I was going to say, so with that being said, is that because, like you said, you know more so how to delegate things, or is it because of like your level of patience with things?
That's a very good question. Give me 1 second. Sorry, that's another edit. I forgot about the horse.
Oh, you all right.
Just trying to make sure I don't cough too much. That's a very good question. I would say it's a variety and a balance of everything. So when it comes to patience, you have to be patient. Like I was talking to my brother, as you can see, we have a lot of talks, and we have such a close and amazing relationship. Like, we can talk about anything, especially when it comes to business. So we actually just had this conversation, and I was telling him that when it comes to entrepreneurship, being a business owner, and especially a Black business owner, and on top of that, a woman that's a Black business owner, you have to have patience. And then entrepreneurship in general is different. Like, entrepreneurship is not for the weak, like, at all. I tell people all the time, like, when you start a business, sometimes it's years before you start seeing a profit, or to where you're at a place where you're comfortable and you can kind of maneuver where you want to. Or it may take years for your business to be on autopilot, or it may take years for you to actually find and develop a team that you trust that's going to be just as passionate as you are about your business. So when it comes to that, it's not for the weak. You just have to be strong, because, like I tell people all the time, in 1 week you may make $7,000. Next week you may make $70. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, sometimes it's like, ooh, I didn't get any money this week, but, you know, next week it's going to be better. you just have to keep grinding. You just have to. And then the thing is also because it's something that you're passionate about. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, when I was younger, I was really money motivated. So it was, I was really good when it came to sales and persuasion and different things like that. So I could sell salt to a snail. I could sell anything. Like that's just, my mentality. That's how I grew up. I grew up around entrepreneurs. So like that's embedded in me. So I'm good at anything that I put my mind to, but it's like, here's the problem. What is your passion? So when I learned my passion, I ran with that. It's such a blessing to know what you're passionate about because you always know how to stay on track because everything you're doing aligns with that passion. So as long as I'm following that, I know where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So that definitely, keeps me calm and things like that because I'm not just chasing the dollars. I'm chasing my passion, and the money is going to follow that, So I tell people all the time, find what you're passionate about, the money will come second. So a lot of times we're chasing money, whether it's a job or this or that, and sometimes that's kind of whack because you're miserable at the end of the day. It's like I'm making all of this money, but I'm clocking into a place where, I'm unhappy or I'm being mistreated, that type of thing. So sometimes you got to step on faith and, sometimes you're in the trenches and you just got to, you just got to run your way through it, walk, do whatever you got to do, crawl through it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I literally just had to do that.
Yes.
Because, like you said, it was, I want to say last year. Beginning of last year, I'm like, man, can't take this job no more. Like, I can't do it.
Absolutely.
I'm like, the job that I had was so easy.
Yeah.
All you did was put a part in the box.
Wow.
And what I did was drove the high low. But I'm like, this ain't it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Me, my wife, family, we all comfortable.
Yeah.
But this ain't it.
Yeah.
I'm like, like you said, I'd rather be out here building something and designing something that can bring value to the world.
Absolutely.
Than allow myself to be suppressed and be here and then become depressed and sad, upset. And now I'm taking my anger out on everybody around me because of the situation I put myself in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah, I have to make that decision. Like, yeah, I got to get on up out of here.
Absolutely.
Made that exit plan and exit stage left.
That's a beautiful thing. And then it's so humbling. And it's a beautiful experience too because like, for me, peace is everything, So my thing is, if I'm at peace, it's like, okay, I'm not at the level that I feel like I should be on, but I'm at peace and I'm working towards it. I'm good with that versus me being stressed out in an environment where it's just taken from me and, not sowing into me. You know what I'm saying? Like my purpose sows into me. And that's everything that I need to consume in order to accomplish the things that I need to accomplish. Like, that's it.
I love that. My purpose sows into me.
Absolutely.
That's a bar.
Absolutely.
That's fire.
Like we were talking about this the other day. Everything you consume is what you need in order for you to everything that you consume is what's going to drive you just in life, whether it's success mentally, whether it's success pretty much on any level. Everything you consume, whether it's music, what kind of music are you listening to? Food, what kind of food are you putting into your body? Your surroundings, like the things that people are saying, like the people that you're talking to, how are you being fed? Everything, whether it's, the things that you're hearing, even the things that you say, because there's power, in the tongue, you know what I'm saying? So the things that you say, the things that you hear, everything. That's one of my favorite mantras or sayings or what have you. I always say everything is connected. Everything. Like if you look at, everything in your life, you will be able to find a way to connect everything. So when it comes to the things that you eat, That's going to affect your mental, everything. Everything is going to be connected. The things that you hear, a lot of times, if we're hearing negativity, we have insecurities about ourselves. We have a lack of confidence because we're not hearing confidence. We're not hearing those things. So we have to really be mindful about everything that we consume.
Man, I love that.
Thank you.
Because that right there is literally, me and my wife had a conversation about that. And I told her the same exact thing.
I love your wife, and I haven't even met her yet.
Thank you.
So I think that's, yeah.
But I'm like, when me and her,
conversations are important.
yeah, when me and her sat down and talked, because she just started her own business. So when me and her sat down to talk, I'm like, the thing that you have to do, I'm like, is one or two things in your business that you have to do when you feel like your back is against the wall type stuff. I'm like, the one is either you got to take a step back, analyze everything, or turn your hustle up.
Absolutely.
I'm like, it's one or two gauges.
Absolutely.
But like you said, everything is connected because once me and her had that conversation, first thing she started doing was listening to more business podcasts. Then she joined a book club where they started reading more books that were not only business oriented, but faith oriented.
Ooh, I love that. Oh, we got to get into that, but go ahead, I'm listening.
But then, and then even after that, she started doing like setting up more time with her coach to do like one-on-ones for her business. And what was it? I want to say me and her sat back and talked. And after we had that talk, it only took her about 2 weeks, and she never done this before. 2 weeks, and she designed her whole website.
Love it.
I'm like, look.
Love it.
I'm like, you're sitting here talking about you might need somebody to pay to do this. I'm like, no. I'm like, you got it.
Yeah.
I'm like, the only thing you got to do is have that faith in yourself, but put yourself in an environment where that's what's feeding you.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, I was like, man, I'm so happy for you. But
that's awesome. No. I love it. It's because it's her first business. It's her baby. It's something she's really passionate about. And you can tell when someone is passionate about it because it's like, I'm going to go in here and learn everything that I can about this because I want to be the best at it. Like, people come to me all the time for, websites and show them how to do this and, to show them how to, start a nonprofit. And I'm like, well, I can tell you how to do it. You can look up a YouTube video, but a lot of times it's convenience. People will pay for convenience because they just don't want to deal with it. So for her to really get out there and go in and learn all that she can, I definitely admire her. I admire her for that. And like you said, the things that you're hearing, listen to those podcasts and those, like-minded individuals and things like that, because you're going to turn up your hustle. It's going to give you that fire. That's just, for instance, like me. Some people have the discipline to work out at home. I don't. I go to the gym because you're just not going to be sitting around on your phone at the gym. You're going to be there, you're going to see everybody. They're on the treadmill, they're lifting weights, they're doing this. And it's like, okay, we all turn. We're all in here, let's get it. It's so motivating. But you at home, it's like, okay, I'm in the living room working out. The refrigerator's right over there. I have some snacks in there, So you just have to know, your abilities and things like that. What I was going to say about the book club is that I love that because me and a couple of my best friends, we started a book club probably about a month ago. And the first book we're reading is Relationship Goals. Have you heard of it? With Michael Todd?
Yeah.
If you haven't read it, you definitely need to. It's something that's faith-based, but it's also something that is a benefit just for your life in general. Because when we think of relationships, as an entrepreneur, you have so many different relationships. So you have your, relationships, with your family, and then you have friends, and then your colleagues, and then, you have business relationships and things like that. So it's just you learning about how to communicate effectively and different things like that. And relationships are everything. In order for you to be successful as a business owner, you have to have good relationships. You have to. Because one thing that I learned, and it's funny, the name of my nonprofit initially was Self-Made Youth. I was never attached to the name. I was never really a fan of the name, but I didn't really know why. And later on in life, I thought about it and I said, self-made youth. I don't really believe in the concept of being self-made, and I'll tell you why. Everything is leverage. Everything is relationship. So the thing is, you can't be self-made. Like, let's say you sell something. You need consumers.
Got you.
You need customers. That's relationship, you know. You need vendors. You need companies. You need a packing company. You need, like, no one is self-made in my eyes. I just don't believe in it. Like, you need someone. You have to have someone to trust. Everything is partnership. Like, it's relationship. Like, it's just so interesting. So when people tell me that they're self-made, you're not really self-made. You have to have a team behind you. You have to have something. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So with that, how much of business would you say goes into your relationship, or how much of your relationships are built off of, how much of your business is built off of relationships? That's what I meant to say.
That's a great question. I don't even know if I would give you, if I'm able to give you a percentage, but it's definitely a large percentage because, and I don't know you like that, but I feel like you're that person also. Like, when you're passionate about something, like, you just exude that. It's who you are. So I can be having a conversation with someone about anything and business just comes up. Like, that's how it is. And they get so excited, involved, like, well, I was thinking about this, what's your thoughts on this, and different things like that. So business comes up so much because I exude it. Like, that's who I am, inside out. So, not to mention, sorry, my stomach was growling.
You all good.
So, business is in a lot of my relationships because, everyone around me are business owners. You know what I mean? Like, it just happened to be that way, whether they were business owners before me or after, we became friends. And I'm like, hey, you're good at that. Have you thought about starting a business? So a very high percentage, because I feel like business is everything. Like, even if you look at holidays, like, for me, I'm not a big holiday person, but I value, like, the togetherness of the holidays and how it brings us together. But now what is it? It's Christmas time. They're starting to put things out early, and they're coming out with more and more things because now it's money-based. Everything is a business. Oh, we got new Christmas lights. It's different than the Christmas lights from the past 10 years. Buy these Christmas lights, and we have this new, and put this on your roof. The kids are going to love this. So it's just like everything is a business, So I don't know. I just feel like business is everything.
I got you.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, even for myself, you are correct. Like, when it's something that I'm passionate about, I'm going after that thing with everything.
Absolutely.
Like, with every fiber in my body. Like, even with the podcast, I want to say with the very first episode, I sat there and I want to say I stayed up to about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Trying to, like, do things. And it went to, let me see how I say it. It got to the point where, like you said, you got to make sure you have people in your corner you could delegate things
Absolutely.
to. So that's where me and Keith's relationship came in. And I'm sitting there up 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, let me try to do this. Let me try to do that. I want to say around 9 o'clock, he gave me a call. I'm like, what's going on? He like, what you doing? I'm like, no, just doing a little edit to the podcast. He's like, bro, I got you. Just chill out. I got you.
Yeah.
So with that being said, for myself, I would say relationships, I would say it's probably like a 60-40. The reason I say 60-40 with, like, the relationships with my business and everything is for the simple fact, like you said, the team that's around me.
Absolutely.
Like, it's certain things that I just don't know how to do.
Right.
And I'm not going to force myself to do it.
Absolutely.
But my colleagues, great at it.
Absolutely.
Like, one of the guys that that I'm always around. His name, Johnny Ward. Man, this man here can talk to anybody about anything. Great salesman, great individual in general. I'm like, I don't got that talent. So when me and him go out and we basically networking, I'm just his hype man. I'm like, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
For the simple fact, like you said, I'm like, right here, that's where that 60-40 kick in.
You know your strengths.
Yeah. I'm like, let me sit back. Let me make sure you got a tissue, water bottle. You hot? Let me fan you a little bit. Whatever you need, I'm going to help you with it.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm like, he go out, talk to the people, and that's why we call him, bag it up. Bag him up, Johnny.
He's the closer.
I'm like, anything we got to do to get the job done, I'm there for it.
Absolutely.
So like you said, well, like I was saying, that right there, relationships for me, I want to say in business, like 60-40 for me. And that 40 is the hustle.
That's a good percentage.
Oh, thank you. But one of the questions that I wanted to ask you was, what was it like building your first business?
To be honest, I don't know if I really have an answer for that because I probably can't remember what my first business was. And I know that's strange and that's weird, and that's because, and this is honest, I feel like I've been an entrepreneur since I've been walking. I know that sounds crazy, but even when I was at school, if my mom packed me something in my lunch that I didn't like, I would sell it like for a quarter. Like it just didn't matter. So I've always had that like entrepreneur mindset, you know what I mean? But I will tell you this. When I talk to people about creating a business, I always tell them, don't just create a business, solve a problem. Because the thing is, like, you always want to guarantee longevity. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so disheartening with everything going on in the world right now, the pandemic and everything. And so many businesses that you thought were, that you thought would be there for forever, or you thought they were in a great financial place. You're like, oh, they closed down? I thought they were doing so good. We love that place. Go ahead.
Listen, I understand exactly what you mean because also I look at stocks and I invest in stocks. It hurt my heart when AT&T, what was it? I think changed up their dividend or dropped their dividend. And they like AT&T is one of those companies that don't never like do anything. Yeah. Dividend always was there. Yeah. But it was like they had to take a step back because, like you said, everything was dropping. Right. I'm sitting there like, oh. So I understand exactly what you said. But go ahead.
Like, no, you're fine. Like, sometimes you don't expect it. So it's like, it's so disheartening, especially for like a lot of, small like business owners or business owners in general. Like, you thought that they had longevity, or you really got a good glimpse. You really got a good glimpse of the businesses that were essential. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like during everything that happened, it's like when everything shut down, it's like, okay, so we're going to have to cut down on a lot. So what are the essentials? What do I need? You know what I'm saying? So that's when the transportation industry and different things like that, that's a need. That's essential. Healthcare, that's a need. That's essential. Mental health, that's a need. That's essential. So you have so many therapists, like you have so many people that weren't going to therapy that are all of a sudden going to therapy because maybe they lost a job, the money isn't coming in, or they're stressed out because they're in a home with their kids and their husband or wife, and they're trying to face issues that they have to face now because they're together all the time. So it's like you kind of see what was essential now. So when it comes to, starting a business and things like that, it's like the best way to do it is to, like I said, solve a problem. what's something that's needed now, what's going to set yourself apart from other businesses. Research it as much as possible. Check out the competition, check out if it's something similar to what you're trying to do in the area. I mean, you just have to think outside the box. You just have to be creative. You have to make sure that you have a squad, just a dope squad. Like, I'm not saying, tell your business to everyone and things like that, because I'm very private when it comes to the things that I want to do, because that's just important to me. It's between God and I until I want to put that out there in the atmosphere. But it's definitely good to have someone to bounce your ideas off of. Just, hey, I have this idea. What do you think about this? Because they can give you a different perspective of things and things like that. So always be looking to solve a problem.
Got you. So even with that, and when you were just speaking about having an essential business in the trucking industry, like, just speak a little bit more about how that came to be, because you don't really see a lot of women in the trucking industry, especially Black women.
Yeah.
So just...
Well, to be honest, it's easy. It's a very easy field for you to get into. So how I started was I researched how to get my MC number, my DOT number. I checked out the requirements and different things like that. Anybody can drive pretty much anything. You don't need your CDLs if you're driving a vehicle or a box truck that's 26 foot or less. So easily find someone to drive a box truck, or you can find someone to drive a cargo van. Like, that's simple. So relationship. So what you do is you can start talking to a lot of businesses in the areas. Like, you can get partnerships with companies that specialize in like auto parts. So what we would do is we would just go around, hey, do you have a specific carrier that you use to transport things, and you start developing those relationships with them. Like I said, it's easy. They don't have to have their CDL. So at the time when I first started, box trucks were not really expensive. If you got good credit, you can go and find one anywhere, between like 15 and 30,000. Now, because of the shortages and everything is sky high. But like, you can go to Craigslist, different things like that, get you a box truck. When I first started, what I did was, hold on, I think I have to cough.
Go ahead.
Sorry, it's a lot going on.
Oh, you all good.
So I'm trying to make sure I look at you, but sometimes I'm like, don't cough, and I'm like looking at the floor, so I apologize.
Oh, you're okay.
Goodness. Okay, what was I saying? Okay, so you have different options. So this is how I started. So what I did was I was researching everything. So I researched Amazon. So Amazon is pretty much everywhere. So Amazon has something called Amazon Relay. What you do, you know about Amazon Relay?
A little bit.
Yes. So what I did was contact the Amazon Relay, and I, got on their list. I applied to be a partner with them. So once you get that partnership, what I did was I went to Penske, and I said, hey, I want to rent a truck. Because you have the partnership with Amazon Relay, you can rent the trunk at a discounted price. Very, very inexpensive. At the time, now it's not, but at the time, like when you're grandfathered in, like that's the best way to have it. So I'm grandfathered in. So what you do is you can rent out the box truck for, I think it was around like $400 or $500 a week. And you would pay per mile. I think at the time it was only like 10 or 13 cents per mile. So now if you want to do it, it's higher. But like I said, partnership is everything when it comes to business. So now you have the partnership with Amazon. So that's super dope, because now if maintenance needs to be done on the truck, I just take it back to Penske. They take care of it. And if they need to keep it, they give me another truck. It's easy. If the truck was mine, then something breaks down, that's thousands of dollars out of my pocket, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So until I get to that point where I had my own trucks, I would just rent trucks from Penske. That was easy. Then, I found a couple guys, really good guys. I checked their MVR, which is their motor vehicle record from like the past 5 years to make sure, they had good driving record. And so with that, I had them driving. My drivers are over the road because that's where the money is. So if I need them to go to Arizona or Colorado or Texas, they're there. And the great thing about that is if I can't find them a load, I also have Amazon loads. Mm-hmm. Amazon loads are pretty much like all third shift. Mm-hmm. So if you have team drivers, if you have two people driving, you have one person driving, from one destination to the next. While they're sleeping, you can have the other person driving Amazon, overnight, that type of thing. So the more drivers that you have occupying that truck, the more money you're going to make because your driver can only drive for a certain period of time.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Before they need a break. So, like I said, it's as simple as that. You just go in, you get these partnerships, talk to a lot of companies in the area. Pharmaceutical companies, that's easy. They always need somebody to, to transport different items and goods and things like that. So it's easy. If you can find a box truck, you can easily go in the system, apply to get your MC number, your DOT number, and all the qualifications. You can do all of that for like less than $500. Find you a box truck, rent it out, and get it done.
Listen, I just want to say shout out to relationships and partnerships. I hope y'all got y'all pens and y'all pads ready because she just gave y'all so much game. And it's all free.
Free game all day. Like, that's what I do with the Build Black Movement. It's just free game.
Speak a little bit more about the Build Black Movement because I'm loving it.
Okay, I appreciate it. So what happened was, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I start up a lot of things, and I help like a lot of people. They'll call me, and we discuss like everything business and beyond. So I have so my best friend. She's an event planner. She has another business also where she sells like home decor and things like that. Mm-hmm. So she was a vendor at an event, I believe in like 2019. And I went and I was there to support her. And I saw the different businesses and I'm like, this is really dope. Like I'm looking around, it's about 20 businesses and, they have, different products. Some people had the same products. And I'm like, this is super dope. I like this. But they didn't have the traffic. Mm-hmm. So like my thing is like, I'm always looking to what? Solve a problem.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. So what I did was I'm like, okay, so I'm taking mental notes and I said, I can do this, but I'm going to upgrade this. So it was, I believe 2020. It was December 23rd. And I called my friends and I said, we're going to have an event in February. And they said, okay, cool, what kind of event? And I said, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire a DJ, and then we'll have like 35 different businesses, and I'm going to promote the heck out of it. Mm. So I value organization and things like that. And like I always say, things in the beginning will not be profitable, but that will come if you follow your passion. I'm so passionate about elevating the culture and the community. So I'm like, it's okay. If I don't make a profit from this, like, that's not the goal here. The goal here is to start building a platform in the community because that's what I'm here for. That's why I'm here on this earth. So I had the event, phenomenal, promoted the heck out of it. I had 35 vendors. It was extremely organized. One thing they valued about my event was that the only thing they had to bring was themselves and their products. They didn't have to bring a table. They didn't have to bring linen. They didn't have to bring chairs. I made my event more attractive than other events because a lot of times we try to hit people over the head, even when it's our own people. I'm not into that. So I'm like, listen, I'll take care of you. You come, bring your stuff. I'll get the people there. You just come and have a positive attitude. So I killed it. Everybody enjoyed it. When's the next event? I'm like, wait a minute, let me recuperate from this one. So first event, 35 people. The next event, 60 people. The event after that, now my events, it's over 100 vendors every single time. I have DJs from radio stations that come because that's going to bring more people. I always, now it's indoor and outdoor. So in the summertime, we have bounce houses for the kids and different things like that. We have food trucks. The first event, I didn't have a food truck, but now we have the food trucks. So I have like 5 food trucks with a variation of different things. We have vendors indoor, vendors outdoor. So now we have staff also because delegating. Me running around, it makes it stressful. So with each event, we made it easier on ourselves and more convenient. People like my events because they're organized and they know that I'm going to promote it and do what I can to bring people to it. Promotion, advertising is everything. Also make sure that the location is good. You know, I have signicades now. We have orange cones. That way people know where to go and what's going on. Like, it's really ran at a professional level. So I value that. Another thing that's different from my events is that we offer free business consulting. It's a selection process. Not everyone that applies to be a vendor at my events will be a vendor. We value quality. So when you value quality and you have a specific type of vendors there, you get so much amazing feedback. Like, oh my goodness, I've been coming to vendor events. You know, I've been going to vendor events all over. Yours is different. I never seen this at an event or someone that sells this or that. I value having a variety of different types of vendors. So you have everything from people who sell cosmetics to people who sell crystals and things relating to your chakra, people that sell t-shirts, people that sell jewelry, and people that sell smoothies. Like, we have everything you can think of. It's just wonderful. So what happens is sometimes I'll get someone who applies and I'll call them and say, hey, I'm looking at your website, and from what you have listed here, it looks like you sell jewelry. But when I go to your website, it looks like you're also selling food plates. You're also selling like 16 other things. It's like, okay, for me, that's confusing. And the way that your website is not really customer friendly. And they're like, yeah, I've been meaning to work on that. I said, I'm very blunt and honest, and they love that because they know it comes from a good place and I want to help everybody. I said, to someone coming to your website, you're not really going to get many people to buy because they're confused. They don't know what type of business that this is. So let me help you. Let me help you with your website and things like that. Well, you're right, because I haven't had many sales, that type of thing. Or I'll go to someone's Instagram and I'll call them and say, hey, I love, what you're doing with your Instagram, and I love your family. They're so cute. But are you promoting your family or the business? Oh, well, I don't have a personal page. Okay. So you're confusing people. You need to be able to differentiate between business and personal. Please don't have everything on one page. Like, that's too much. If I'm coming here to your page to buy soap scrubs, I really don't want to see your kids doing pranks. Like, it's cute and everything, but that's not why I came to your page. So for someone that's really looking to, support your business, that's not really professional. Now, what you can do is You can, show little videos of your kids trying out your soap scrubs and different things like that if you want to put the kids in there. We love your kids. We love you. You look so cute, but we don't need all of your selfies on your business page. So it's those little things. So not only with the Build Black Movement do we host events, but we also teach people. And we give them so many different, we call it Build Black 101. Mm-hmm. So I'll post things like, hey, if you want to start a business, check out these, 5 things, or, just little gems, little diamonds of just, information. Make sure there's a distinction between your personal finances and your business finances. Make sure you set up a business bank account and different things like that. We make sure we tell them everything that we can because that's important. They don't educate us on things like that in schools. They just don't. So we have to do it for each other.
Yeah. The one thing I was going to say is when you was explaining your events, mm-hmm. I cannot remember the name of this show for anything, but you was mm-hmm. making me feel like I was at one of what is it? Issa Rae Events.
Oh yeah,
I can't think of her show name right now.
Yeah, Insecure.
Yes,
absolutely.
You made me feel like I was on the set of Insecure. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, when you start to explain it, I'm like, I didn't see that before.
Listen, it's definitely a vibe. It's definitely like I said, we get the hottest DJs to come out. We have so many different events. It's like a little mini festival. It's just so dope.
So is it almost like a business-oriented block party?
Absolutely. I love that. I'm going to take that. Yes. A business block party. Absolutely.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Man, I had to come to one.
Well, not even just that. I live in North Carolina, if you guys don't know. I don't think I said that in the beginning, but I'm born and raised here in Flint, Michigan. Mm-hmm. But I live in Greensboro, North Carolina. So actually, I'm happy to do this also, and I'm sure I'll be able to to come on and do another interview or what have you. Once I have the event, I would like to have one here in Flint. Mm-hmm. So I would like you to help me with that. That's something that you're interested in.
Say no more.
Yes. So I think that would definitely be so dope. With you knowing so many people in the area on a business level. Mm-hmm. And I have a couple contacts, from when I used to live here. But I think that would be something dope to bring here.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Man, listen, you are amazing.
I appreciate that.
It's no problem at all. Everything that you just explained to me that you do and all the gems that you drop, mm-hmm. fire.
Thank you.
No need to be nervous.
Thank you.
You got this. You fire.
Thank you.
So it was another question that I have for you.
Okay.
The question that I have for you is, let me see how to say it. It's just, with the block parties and everything, mm-hmm. right? Just, I know you said organization is everything. Mm-hmm. How can you even, organize something at that magnitude with, that many people? Mm-hmm. How did your organizational skills get, so fine, so fire, man? That's what I'm trying to figure out. How did you get so tight on organization?
Well, it's a couple things. So when I was at the previous event, like I said, I always try to search for a solution or search for ways to better things. I'm a natural problem solver when it comes to certain things. So when it comes to organization, that's always been something that was important to me because chaos stresses me out. Mm. It's a stressor. So for me, everything has to be in order, and I'm great when it comes to planning. The thing is balance because I'm also a spontaneous person. Gotcha. So when it comes to business, organization is definitely key. When it comes to my paperwork, I'm on point. I need to be able to find things when I need to find it and things like that. And then also, my reputation is everything. Mm. So when I have the events and they say, Because it's funny. Funny story is when I had my first event, I was I had a conversation with the lady over the venue, and she was laughing. She said, "I got so many calls from people asking if it was a scam, because people really scam people out of their money. They'll say, 'Hey, I have an event.' They'll have 10 vendors, and they didn't promote it, so no one will show up. So my reputation is everything. And when it's a black woman that's the head of something, you have to make sure that you're organized and professional, because people will look for you to fail. So the thing is, color people time and all these different stereotypes is like, okay, so when I have my events, they're going to be different. They're going to be very organized. People are going to know what's going on at all times. One thing that I do for my events, as far as organization, also is digital applications. So when they apply, it's simple. It's not, "Hey, I found your flyer, but I don't know how to apply to be a vendor." Everything about our events you will know about. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're working on a website and things like that. So it's a digital application, so it's easy. You don't have to print out something and fill it out or anything like that. So that shows organization and professionalism. Everything that's included. I try to make it easy and convenient for people. Just bring your things. That's all. It's going to be nice and organized. That also comes with time. Because with each event, remember what I told you, my first event, it was only 35 people. I wanted to start small, and it was just me. So you learn from each event. Each event, I got bigger. And then each event, I added something different that would help me. Okay, I didn't like this about the last event, so let me organize and do something better for the next event. So I learned something from every event. So yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. You just have to learn from your mistakes, and you have to tell yourself, like, you're not going to fail. This is something new. It's something amazing that you're doing. You have to give yourself grace. So if it doesn't work out the way you planned on it, it's okay. The people will forgive you. They know who you are. And it's so humbling and beautiful when I have people contacting me saying, "Hey, like, I live in Charlotte, and that's an hour and a half away from your event. I will come an hour and a half to your event because I know you're going to do everything you can to promote it. I know it's going to be organized, and I know that it's going to be a great experience." I remember my last event I had in a city that was 2.5 hours away. I had 15 vendors travel from my hometown 2.5 hours to another city that was having an event at, because they believe in the brand. So when you're passing different events going on in different cities surrounding where you live, and you're traveling 2.5 hours to attend and be a part of my event, that's how you know that you're onto something. Because people not only believe in the brand, but they believe in you and what you're doing. So professionalism, organization is everything, because that's your reputation. If people are coming, where do I sit? Where's my business supposed to be? Or I thought it was supposed to start an hour ago, and different things like that. People don't like that. That doesn't make a good experience for them. So like, one thing that I've learned is that the bigger you go, you have to have more organization. So I have different people coming at different times, so I'm not stressed out. So if I have indoor people, they have an hour to set up. They come during this time. Then outdoor people come this time. DJs come at this time. Food trucks come during this time. That way I know what's going on at every moment. As far as my staff, they have walkie-talkies. So I have somebody outdoors, somebody indoors, somebody in the parking lot, somebody with the food trucks. There's somebody everywhere. That way they can easily radio in and say, "Hey, we have a problem," or "Hey, this." Organization is just a way for you to not be stressed.
Got you. I love that.
Thank you.
So one of my last questions for you is believing in the brand.
Yeah.
Just speak a little bit to that, because I know a lot of people let me see how to say this. A lot of people have side hustles that they haven't transitioned into business. And the whole reason is because of their brand.
Yeah.
So with all of your expertise, just give a little bit of game about how to help them develop their brand and get people to believe in it.
That's wonderful question, wonderful topic. So many different examples. At my events, what I do is I have documents that I made up that tells each of my vendor different things and tips on how they can be successful. One of those things are to be welcoming to the guests and the supporters and the shoppers that are there.
Customer service.
Absolutely. It's everything.
Got you.
How many times have you gone to an event and you will see someone who hasn't sat down the whole time? They're up engaging. Hey, try this on. Let me put this lotion on you, different things like that. They're making money. And you have someone else that's sitting in their seat on their phone and they don't make anything. I've seen people not make anything and the person next to them, they walk out of there, they made $2,000. If you don't believe in your brand, how can I? I mean, seriously, if you're not excited about your brand, no one else will be. My thing is, it doesn't matter what I'm selling. I will sell you, I will make you want to buy this used paper towel from me. I will talk so highly about this and give you examples and why you need it. Another thing is sales. Sales is everything. Everything. A lot of the time you have to tell people what they want because they don't know what they want or need. So you tell them and you tell them why. You need this because of this. You should have this because of this. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to your brand, you have to be excited about it. You have to big up your brand. That's so important. For instance, 50 Cent. My thing is,
That's my guy. I love him.
this brother here, when it comes to like his brand and selling things and putting things into the atmosphere, it's extraordinary. He's always like, yeah, you know, it doesn't matter. Like his shows, like obviously they're great, but this brother, he'll tell you, hey, this is where you need to be tonight watching my show. This is the biggest show on earth. The thing is, if nobody else believes you, if you believe you and if you believe your brand, the people will believe you.
Yes.
You know what? This is the best product. Oh my goodness, you need this. This is going to change your life. And it's like, I don't even know if it will do that, but I'm intrigued now. If I don't get it, how will I know? So let me buy this product because there's a possibility that it's going to change my life because you said it. You are the brand. You have to sell yourself. I am my brand. So I sell myself first and everything comes second. So if people fall in love with me, they're falling in love with everything that I do, everything that I am, everything that I have to offer. So branding is everything. Like you have to get excited about it. You have to be passionate about it. That goes back to what I was saying about passion. If you're just chasing the dollar and you're not passionate about it, like you're not doing the brand any justice.
Your brand gonna be watered down.
Absolutely. It's gonna be concentrate. It's the concentrate version. Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want the concentrate version of your brand, of your business. Like you have to really figure out what you want to do and breathe it. Like wake up every day with a purpose. When it comes to your brand, like you have to be the brand. You are that. You have to live, eat, and sleep the brand. But if you're not passionate about it, you won't. So my suggestion is anyone out there that has a business, they're not serious about their business, they're not passionate about it, you either need to figure out why you're not passionate about it and go from there. It could be you're discouraged because you've been trying at it so long and you need to take another route. Like you said earlier, take a step back analyze things, figure it out, or maybe you just don't care about it. That's just like for me, when I started off going to school, when I was in college, I was attending college for digital designs and graphics. And, sorry.
You're all right.
Woo. Okay, so sorry. When I was attending college, I think my major was digital designs and graphics. That's what I was attending school for. As time went on, I discovered that's not what you're passionate about. Figure out what you're passionate about and go from there. Like when it comes to your brand, just make sure that you're passionate about it. Make sure that you go all in, because you're not doing your brand any justice when you're just half-assing it. Like that's just the real. Like you have to be all in. Like E.T. says, like you just have to. What is it? The one as much as you breathe.
You gotta want to succeed as much as you breathe.
Say it again.
You gotta want to succeed
Yes,
as bad
absolutely.
as you want to breathe.
Absolutely. You have to succeed. So just like E.T. said, you have to want to succeed as much as you breathe. And like I said, wake up every day with a purpose. Like it's gonna be some times. It's gonna be times when you don't get any sleep. It's gonna be some times when you're stressed out. It's gonna be some times when you're discouraged, when you feel like you hit a dead end. You just have to keep going. One thing that I learned is that success is not easy. It's not pretty. There's going to be times where you want to give up. There's going to be times when you feel like you're not worthy of this. When God gave me My High, the nonprofit, I would ask God why, because it's so much bigger than me. When you are living out your purpose and when God gives you something, and it's something that's going to change the world and change people's lives, a lot of times you will question if you're the person for the job. God doesn't make mistakes.
Facts.
You were chosen. You were placed in that position for a reason. I am, in the past, I was a self-proclaimed perfectionist. And the issue is that all of that time that I was taking to make my brand, my business perfect, there were a lot of people that missed out because I wasn't doing what I needed to do with the brand or the business. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to have all the sparkles and things like that. That will come. If this is your purpose, if what you're doing is what you were placed to do, then put it out there. It's going to get better over time. You just have to believe in yourself enough. You just have to. It doesn't have to be pretty. It's not always going to be pretty. Like the road to success is ugly. It's bumpy. You're going to get scratched up. You're going to get some bruises. I've had a couple broken limbs on the way. Like you'll get some flat tires. Like you'll lose a slipper. You'll lose a shoe. You'll be pulling your hair out. Like it's rough sometimes, but you just have to keep going. It's very important for you to just keep going.
Yeah. So with that being said, we done got to the part of the podcast that I do not like doing at all.
Oh, okay.
But I know that we have to do it because, as you already done told us, you are a very busy person.
Yes.
And yeah, you fired. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
But if there's one gem to success that you can give to people besides the one that you just gave them, what would it be?
I wouldn't even say it's just for like business. You know what? It's this gym, okay. So the gym that I would give Say it one more time. You said for someone to gain. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was just saying, if there was one gem for success
Okay.
that you could give to somebody, what would it be?
A gem for success that I would give to people, I guess it would change as my life changes, because everything that I tell people is from experience and things that I've learned. So right now in my season, it would be to give yourself grace. And I say that because you have to give yourself grace in any situation. If you're working on your fitness, if you're working on being fit and different things like that, there's going to be times when you slip up. It's okay. Tomorrow, just start over, or in an hour, start over. Just, you can always start over. Give yourself grace, because no one's perfect. When it comes to business, you're going to make mistakes. It's okay. Give yourself enough grace and just keep it moving. You messed up in a relationship. You only can do what you can do. Of course, you're apologetic. You learn from your mistakes, but give yourself grace. Things that happened to you when you were younger, some of those things weren't your fault. They were not your fault. Give yourself grace and just keep moving. So I guess I would just say that.
But I was just saying, I love it because, like you said, give yourself grace. That's important when it comes to business and in life in general. And the one thing I do want to say is thank you for coming to sit down with me today, because you didn't only give us gems for business. You dropped a lot of life gems in there for people as well.
Thank you.
So even for somebody who, let me see how I say it, don't want to be an entrepreneur really, it's still gems in this for them.
I appreciate that.
So I appreciate you for sitting down.
No problem. And I do want to let you know that I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I think it's dope. Just, giving, people like me to, a platform to be able to help others or share my story or drop gems, from a different perspective and everything. And I think that's dope. And I love what you're doing. I can't wait to work with you.
Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, it's finna go down.
Absolutely.
So the one thing that I want to do before we get out of here is just let the people know how they can connect with you.
Okay, excellent. So to contact me, sorry. Goodness, I'm still crying. Okay. So the best way to contact me is right now on Facebook and Instagram at the Build Black Movement. So that's Build, B-U-I-L-D, Black Movement, but it's M as in Mary, V as in Victor, M as in Mary, T as in Tom, Build Black Movement. And that's on Instagram and Facebook. And from there, you'll be able to see different links for you'll be able to see different links for the website. Hopefully that'll be out soon. And then also for my other businesses also. So from there, you will be able to DM me if you have any questions, if you want to be a part of the movement, if you have any suggestions and different things like that.
Okay. Well, once again, I appreciate you guys for coming to sit down with us and watching the Royal Minds podcast. This has been your host, Mr. Royal Minds, Darrell Willis, my terrific guest.
Thank you. Oh, Tioko Holmes.
And you guys just come back and watch. Hang out with us.